What up, guys? Hope you're doing well. Wanted to do just a follow-up lesson on the hammer-ons and the pull-offs from the first one, which was in the key of G. So if you want to check that video out, I'll link it up top and in the description. But this one, we're gonna do it in the key of C. So I'll be honest, I don't play these ones as often as I do in the key of D or key of G, but I still play these a good bit. So the chords, again, for the key of C, I'll just go through them really quickly. There's a video I'll put up top, and then I'll put in the description showing you a breakdown of every single chord, well, mostly every single chord you'll need in the key of C, and the shapes I use, the easy shapes. So you got your F, your C, your G, and your A minor. And you see how I'm just like barely moving any fingers. It's so nice this way. There's just very, very minimal movement on my fingers there. So the main hammer-on and pull-off you're going to be doing is going to be this middle finger. So it's going to be on so for the F chord, it's going to be on the second fret, your third string from the bottom, so your G string. So on the F, you'll do that. So that's the hammer-on. Here's the pull-off. The C, again, you're going to use your middle finger. It's going to be on the fourth string from the bottom. Yep, so it'll be the fourth string from the bottom, the D string. So again, the hammer-on is going to be and the pull-off is going to be so if you just put those two together, and then if you added one more chord, you could add a G. That sounds pretty nice. And that G, I'm just going from the G sus there, and then I'm taking my pointer finger off. So again, that's those would be your hammer-ons and pull-offs for those two chords. Some other hammer-ons and pull-offs that I do it on this G over B. And again, that's your middle finger, and that's going to be on the second string from the top, that A string. So I'm not doing anything different with my chord position. It's almost as if I was still playing a C with my pinky down here, my my pointer finger here. All I'm doing is just moving that middle finger up one string to the G over B. So that's one I'll do. I'll show you how and when I do that in a minute. I don't really do a pull-off for that one much, but I guess you can. And then obviously your A minor. I think the A minor sounds the best for the hammer-on. And you're hammering on, again, that middle finger. You're hammering onto the same string, that fourth string from the bottom. That D string, same string you're hammering onto with your C. So basically your A minors, you could get into this C position, take that ring finger off, and there you go. And that minor chord is always nice because it's kind of got that deep and kind of like, not dark feel, but you know, a little bit of deepness, a little bit of bass in there. So while I kind of began my playing when I was learning in the key of C, while I started doing the shapes like this that I'm teaching you guys, and I still play with these shapes, sometimes on the song, if I really don't want that high E string in there, and I want kind of a little bit of a deeper, more full sound, I'll play slightly different shapes So it'll be like this F chord, this, you know, regular C, or if you wanted to add that bass note, the G chord there, and then the A minor. This is where, I think this is where the hammer-on sounds a little bit better and a little bit different when you're hammering on with 2 fingers as opposed to just the one, as I just showed you a couple minutes ago. So just to show you a couple of chord progressions that you could do. So we could go. And I just thought of another hammer-on. You can also hammer on to that pointer finger and do a hammer off. So that's a nice little progression there. So it's just the A minor to the F. So A minor hammer, F, hammer on, and then I just do one down strum with it off. So I don't even do any like pull off on that one. So it's just, and that's another kind of nice tip for you guys to know when you're playing in the C shapes. Another nice thing to do if the hammer-ons and the pull-offs, maybe it's just not the right feel, maybe it's not the right song, maybe you just do just putting that middle finger on and then off on the C chord and then also on the F chord. So again, that progression would sound like this. So I was just hammering on the A minor, and then I was hammering onto the F, hammering onto the C, and then going open, and then to the G, putting that pointer finger on and off. So I think even it sounds a little bit better if you used some of those other chords I was showing you. So just the So they both sound good. You can do it either way you want to. Another one that I just kind of remember playing and like practicing a lot when I was growing up, or not growing up, but when I was in my early stages, was doing this progression from A minor, hammering onto the A minor. And if I didn't explain it earlier, when you're hammering on, you don't have to be like super precise on the string you're hammering onto. You can hit a couple of them, and as long as you're hammering on to the right string, that'll catch the right note. So for this A minor, I'm kind of just, I don't even think about what strings I'm hitting. I'm probably hitting, obviously, maybe like an A, this string, the 4 middle strings, but I don't even think about it. So just to keep that in mind too. So the progression I was telling you about that I used to always love to play, see if I can remember this. It goes. So really, I was just going A minor, hammering onto the A minor, hammering onto that G over B, and then I was keeping this middle finger there, and I was hammering onto that same string with the ring finger. So a little new element for you. And then I was also hammering on, I was bringing the old pinky up with the surprise attack on this. So basically, if you were gonna get into that F chord, not this one, but this one, or basically just go to your C chord, you sneak in that pinky on that string right underneath the ring finger, and you can, so if you just played it like this, that would be called a C sus chord. So C, C sus, C, C sus. If you wrap the thumb on the first fret, low E string, that's the F note, so that would actually be an F chord. So that's usually what I'm playing there. But anyways, I am hammering onto the third string from the top, that D string, with my pinky finger. So it sounds. So you got a lot of hammer-ons there, a lot of like hammer-ons and stuff. So hammer on to the A minor, hammer on to the G over B, hammer on to the C, hammer on that middle finger, hammer on to the pinky, hammer on to the pinky again. So that's maybe something you could do, and I think that'll be good practice because it'll actually be bringing this pinky into play a little bit more, so it's kind of working on some of that pinky strength. Because normally we just hang out with our pinky on that high E string, whether we're playing in the C shapes, G shapes, or D shapes. Yeah, so just remember with these hammer-ons and like pull-offs, just I think I said this in the last one, sometimes less is more. So I don't think I would probably encourage you, if you're doing worship or something, literally to do hammer-ons and pull-offs on every single chord progression. But I think when the time is right and when it's the nice, you can just kind of sense it, you can feel it. There's just little things you can do to kind of make things sound a little bit better. So like even just an example would be Waymaker. So if we were doing that, we would go, we could just do it really nice and simple. You are here. Just a small hammer onto the F. You are here, moving in this place. I worship you. I worship you. And then hammer onto the A minor. It's just, you're not doing anything crazy, but it just kind of gives it a nice little bit of flavor, a little bit of spice to it, and it's not going to be distracting. So again, don't be like, hey, to your worship leader or your, the pastor, and like, hey, this guy on YouTube's telling me to do hammer-ons and pull-offs on like all these chords and these shapes and stuff. So you don't want to do that. Less is more, but just use your ear, use your musical sense to kind of, you know what, that sounds pretty good there. And just play around with some things. Yeah, and if you have questions, definitely leave a comment or let me know. Be happy to help you out. And so I hope these tips just kind of give you a little bit of stuff to practice on. Maybe when you're doing some worship to some of these songs, just try to maybe incorporate some of these hammer-ons and pull-offs. just to see how things sound. And like, you know, you might be like, oh, you know what, that actually sounds really good with that, like doing that strum, we're doing a pull-off, we're doing a hammer-on. So definitely be creative, experiment, have fun with it, and keep me posted if you have any questions. All right, guys, I'll catch you next time.